Welcome to Tell to Trevor. I'm your host, Trevor Shelley, and today on my podcast I have.
The sexiest man in the whole world in professional wrestling. El Papichulo directamente de Puerto Rico. What is going on?
Nothing much, just tired and sore. What sparked your interest in the professional wrestling industry?
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah. What sparked your interest in the professional wrestling industry?
Ah, the passion. The athleticism. Um, it's like watching modern day gladiators just tell a story with their bodies. And I figured that caught my attention, and I figured I can do it better than anybody else.
Okay. Who were your wrestling mentors growing up?
One more time.
Who were your wrestling mentors growing up?
Wrestling mentors growing up, I would have to say I enjoyed Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Ric Flair, Eddie Guerrero. Uh, those four were the ones I kept watching. That inspired me.
How did you get your start in the wrestling world?
Um, I moved from Puerto Rico to Florida, and I walked into the facilities of Gangrel's Wrestling Asylum, met Gangrel, and that was it.
Okay. What was your first wrestling match like?
Ooh, that was intense. I didn't even know it was gonna happen. I was just there. Um, Coach was asking me if I was afraid of worms. I didn't know why. I said no, and one thing led to another. All of a sudden, cutting a promo for 5 minutes, addressing the crowd in Florida, Miami. Uh, had a little chump come up to me, destroyed him without putting a single hand on him. Counted one, two, three, and meditated my way through a victory. That was beautiful up until the boogeyman came out.
Okay.
Yes, the boogeyman came out, chased me around the whole building, and was just having fun with it. Papichulo. At the end, he ended up catching up to me and threw me across the threw me across the ring, gave me some worms to digest and protein, and that was a traumatized experience for my first match.
I would bet. What What are your goals for the future in the wrestling business?
Oh man, my goal has always been the same: to make it to the top and stay at the top. Become the champion of a specific company and just represent what wrestling is and just be at the top of the mountain, be the best of the very best, have everybody chasing after me.
Yeah. Can you describe your wrestling persona or character for someone that has not watched you before?
For those of you who haven't seen the sexiest man alive, well, let me tell you about something. It's just a Puerto Rican sexy boy who isn't afraid to take your wife or your girl. As soon as he comes in and whoops everybody in the ring, I come out and I always win. It doesn't matter what happens to me inside the ring. I always walk out with a lady by my arm, maybe two. It doesn't matter if she's your wife or not. That's what you can expect out of El Papi Chulo.
Can you share a memorable moment from your wrestling career?
Um, Let me see. Wrestling moments. I've had many. I've had as a tag team partner. I've had this one right here. I won my championship as a tag team in NGCW, Florida. That was a nice, beautiful moment to think back on. That was this year, last year.
Can you describe the feeling of winning your first championship?
The feeling was emotional. It was emotional. It was We first of all, the match was we went through hell through that match. Uh, Faced Romeo Quevedo, Cuban Warrior, uh, D3 Roma, an Italian guy. It was a match full of a lot of great talent. We put on the match of the night, and luckily we came out with the victory. It was like I said, it was very heartfelt. It was very emotional. The way the crowd received us, the way they went through that journey with us. It was a really nice experience, and I can't wait to do it again on February 8th when I take Daniel Starling's Florida Championship in Pride of Wrestling.
How do you handle the mental and emotional aspects of wrestling?
Day by day, you know. As a man, you gotta do things even you don't want to do. Uh, you gotta wake up in the morning. You gotta brush your teeth. You gotta make your bed. You gotta work out. You gotta eat clean. You gotta push through the pain. You gotta take advantage of every opportunity that's given because they're not given. You gotta work for them, and the few that are given, treasure them. Um, you know,
All right, so we're gonna start this segment called Rev Shock. It's my little thing I love doing. It's like Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast, where you have a certain amount of time to answer these questions. Or if you're in a business meeting, those popcorn questions. Mine, you have 50 seconds to answer 6 questions.
let's go.
All right. First question is, what's your pre-show snack?
What's my what?
Pre-show snack.
My pre-show snack. Probably a protein bar.
Pre-show song.
Pre-show song.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny's new album.
Favorite wrestler growing up.
The Rock.
Favorite sports team.
Baltimore Ravens.
Favorite color.
Purple.
Favorite type of music.
Salsa.
And that is Thrift Shop, guys. Let's see. What are the biggest challenges of being a professional wrestler outside of the ring?
Not giving up on your dreams.
How do you feel about the business side of the rules of promotions and shaping storylines?
How do I feel about what promotions and what storylines?
Like independent promotions promoting storylines.
I think there's a lot of independent promotions that are doing a spectacular job creating superstars in the independent scene. I also think there's a lot of companies that just, you know, are just having matches to have matches. Um, just like everything in life, you got your good places and your bad places. Hopefully, thankfully, the ones that I have been able to participate, I have had more positive things to say than negative, luckily. But, we're just going with it. We're still getting to know new companies. We're still getting to know the independent scene. Independent is everywhere. And thankfully, so is wrestling.
If you could wrestle any legendary wrestler from the past, who would it be and why?
Um, it would either have to be Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie? Okay. And
Every,
why?
I just feel like the amount of things as a wrestler and as a Latino that I can learn from him would be unique.
If you could attend a wrestling training session with any wrestler, who would you pick?
Mm, the final boss, Dwayne the Rock
The
Johnson.
final one.
Yeah, but not just the wrestling one. I want his workout too.
If you could have a wrestling legend as your mentor, who would you choose?
Shawn Michaels.
Alright, so on WWE 2K24, I have a universe called the Shock Universe. It's like your basic Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, TNA. So we have a world title, a tag title, a mid card, a cruiserweight, and a hardcore title. Which one would you go for?
All of them.
All of them? It's the first I've heard that, but okay. What's your opinion on the wrestling crossover event with other sports and entertainment industries?
I think if it's done correctly, it is an incredibly smart move. It is a chess move. It is it's bringing in eyes. It's bringing in attention, awareness into this sport that we love so much, and that at the end of the day works out for everybody. Not only for the workers, but for the fans to um, be able to feel comfortable talking about wrestling. There was a time when people have to be shy about who to talk to wrestling about. That's not the case anymore. Wrestling is cool.
Yeah. What advice would you give to an aspiring wrestler?
It isn't easy. If this is what you want and you're willing to go through everybody, do it. I fully support you. Just know that you got to go through me too once you make it.
Can you talk about a significant feud you had and how it helped you grow as a wrestler?
A significant what?
Feud.
I hate this guy. I really do. But I I had a feud with Cha Cha Charlie where I kept getting distracted because there was pretty women in the crowd, so he kept taking advantage of opportunities and getting the best out of me until it drove me crazy, obsessive until I defeated him. And man, and the biggest show for IWA Florida for me once I finally won.
What was it like working with a particular wrestler that you really clicked with in the ring?
It was fantastic because I've had a few of those, and you, know, you don't even have to talk. You just feel the crowd. You feel how involved they are in your match, and it's it's a connection. It's like I'm just grateful to have those kind of people.
Yeah. Can you describe your training process and what was the most challenging part of learning to wrestle?
So my training process would have to be waking up, doing some cardio, uh, going to the gym after breakfast, uh, killing it at the gym, come back, recover, uh, eat as much as I can throughout the day so later at night I can go to professional wrestling training and hit the ring a few hours. And from there, do that 3 times a week for the ring, gym 4 times a week or five, and try to stay as disciplined as I can with the same food over and over again, because the moment you don't and you start eating bad, it'll show. And a guy like Papichulo can't be looking not like a Papichulo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What brings you joy outside of the wrestling world?
What brings me joy and what?
Outside of the wrestling world.
Women. Women. The love and companionship of a beautiful woman or two. Besides that, just doing different projects. Like right now, we're doing this podcast. I have fun with these. Trying to get as many connections as I can, doing networking. We're always doing something throughout the day.
Yeah. Favorite favorite gear that you have ever got made?
Well, the current one that I use right now, but since you did ask, my favorite gear is about to arrive pretty soon. And I'll
Okay.
be using that for the first time in Pride of Wrestling.
And then where can they find you on social media?
Oh, the question everybody asks. Well, you can find me El Papichulo PR in all social medias. You got Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, everything you need. You can find me there, buddy.
And then thank you for being on the podcast. And then thanks to the sponsors of Wrestling Evolution and TBD Wrestling Promotion on the east side of the Carolinas.
Let's go. Can't wait to come back to the Carolinas.
And then, guys, we are doing a t-shirt contest, 2 separate ones for the people that have been on the show and then the fans, where you can win either one out of 5 designs, and the winners are randomly picked. All right. Well, thanks again for being on the podcast.
My pleasure, brother.
Hope to see you down on the road in the ring.
Absolutely. Hope to see you soon. Have a blessed day. Papi out.